Hey, 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 good afternoon. Good afternoon. How everyone doing today? I hope you guys ready for this month chakra chats. This month we're going to start off by talking about building community connections. Building community connections. So I want to take the opportunity to thank everyone for joining the National Childcare Owners Association for this month topic and our esteemed panel that's on. I want to welcome all of you guys and give them an opportunity to introduce themselves and tell you who they are and what their role is in the National Childcare Owners Association. We're going to start with you, Ray.
Hey, how you doing, guys? My name is Raymond Maxwell. I'm the president of the National Tractor Owners Association. It is a pleasure to be with you today, and this is a great topic we're talking about. I'm excited to get started with the conversation. And the next person, introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, good morning in some places, and good evening in others. I'm Todd Harris. I'm the executive director for the National Childcare Owners Association. All the books stop with me. When the president is doing his thing and he needs some backup, I'm him. I am the policy maker and advocate slash uh, uh, grassroots worker. That's who I am.
Hey everybody, here. I member at here and share with you guys on today.
All right, thank you. Okay, so we're going to hop right
So,
into it.
today's topic is that of building communities, building connections, building communities in the childcare industry. So, the first question that I have is, how can we foster stronger relationships among childcare providers, parents, and children to build a sense of community? How can we foster stronger relationships among childcare providers, parents, and children to build stronger communities? That question is directed to Miss Joy, who's all the way down in Florida, like she's sitting in her building, her childcare building. Joy, how do we accomplish this task?
I think one of the major ways we accomplish building community is by communing, coming together, right? We don't know what we have in our community until we know who's in our community. And so I think fostering opportunities for the community to come together and network, whether that be through shared services, whether that be through community engagement initiatives, whether it be I remember one year we were located next to an after school program only. And so when I was too full for my after school program, I would tell them to go over to Nicole's because she just did before and after care. So it really comes down to providers coming together, parents coming together, and even finding ways for our children to engage and come together. We started a pen pal program a couple of years back. It didn't last that long, but it was amongst other centers. Like, hey, would your preschool class love to get letters from our preschool class? Now, I don't even know if people still send letters. Everybody is sending a text message and an email. But I know even for my kids, they love to get mail. My mom sends them Christmas cards, Valentine's Day cards, Thanksgiving Day cards, and they love to get mail from her. So any way we can provide opportunities for us to come together, network, speak to each other, love on each other, support each other, I think is phenomenal. You're on mute.
This internet's acting crazy, but great response, Joy. Great response. I do have a follow-up question to that, but we'll keep on moving with program. So, what strategies can be employed to actively involve parents in the childcare community and create meaningful connections? That question is directed to our treasurer, Daphne Booker Harris.
Well, when you think about strategies to involve parents, there's so many different strategies you can take when it come down to involving parents. First of all, you have to make sure that you have the right systems and processes in place in order for you to be able to communicate and connect with those parents by having some type of communication portal. Nowadays, this is 2024, we should have some type of way of emailing and sending pictures and throughout the day where we can communicate with those parents. But having other opportunities where parents can get involved and have a meaningful connections is when you have different events at your program, like Valentine's Day, right? Everybody love Valentine's Day. It's coming up. Why not have a volunteer opportunity where parents can come in and help with your Valentine activities, whether that means arts and craft or reading a book about Valentine's Day or helping with the parties and have parents to volunteer to create personalized goodie bags for the students. That's how you build connection with parents, by involving them in what's going on in your program. Like this month is not only for Valentine's. Let's talk about Black History. This month is Black History Month. February is coming up, is Black History Month. So having parents involved and really engulfed in educating their students on Black history by sending them emails with tips that they can use to teach their students about Black history and coincide with your lesson is. Tell them who you're going to talk about for the month. What are you going to talk about so they can reiterate it when their students come home with arts and craft, with reading activities, with them bringing different things back. And those are some of the things that we're doing in our program for Black History Month to make sure that our parents are staying connected and they're involved with what we're doing for the month of February for Black History. And then we're going to just sum it all up with a Black History program by inviting them in to participate in the Black History program and parents to volunteer to help in the back to get the students dressed in their costumes and help the teachers keep the kids engaged throughout the Black History program. Because when you putting on stuff for parents, when you putting on different programs, you have to have somebody to help keep the kids in line, to know this class go next and that class go next. What better person to have volunteer than parents to come in and help with those different activities? So some of the strategies that we use in our program to involve the parents in our curriculum, and what we do is just allowing them to have volunteer opportunities where they can come in and do so. So those are some of the strategies that I put in place in our centers in order to make sure that parents are actively involved in what we're doing.
Great response. Great response. Follow-up question is, we are talking about having those connections to communities, and you spoke of that of African American history, Black history. So how do we engage across communities? How do we, that's something that I don't think is discussed enough in building community, because the way they do childcare on one side of town is not the same way they do childcare on the other side of town. How do we bridge that gap of services or standards within the community to build this community that we're speaking of? That question for Mr. Maxwell. Well, anyone is welcome to chime in on it if you have some input on it.
Well, I guess it all starts with community engagement. So that's where it all starts with. Um, you know, thank goodness that America is a melting pot with different cultures, and it would be nice to share your culture with other cultures and vice versa. Because it gives you a great opportunity. Like some of our centers are multicultural, so all the kids get exposed to other kids at the same center culture. So that's a great way so that we can better understand and learn from each other. And also I wanted to tie in also, this is a great way that we can promote collaboration and support, among different childcare providers within our community. Um, Not to go too far off that subject, some of the things that we done in our childcare center is like we reached out to local businesses like certain community banks so that they can help sponsor some of our activities so that we can do like community outreach throughout the neighborhood.
All right. Well, in actuality, you did not go off at all. You went right on to the next subject, the next question. I'm sorry, which was how can we promote collaboration and support among childcare providers within the community? So you actually you gave your insight on the follow up question and then went into the next question itself. So with that being said, now I gotta take it over to your counterpart, your better half, Ms. Maxwell. How can we promote collaboration and support among child care providers within the community?
I think engaging in initiatives like this one, where it brings childcare owners specifically together. Oftentimes we see platforms that have something for everybody: the childcare owner, the director, the teachers. And this particular platform is specifically for the childcare owner because the childcare owner is the anchor. The childcare owner is the one that has to, hold everything down, keep it all together no matter what. And so we want to make sure that we have support services for the visionaries because they need it. They need it. And so joining communities like this, coming together even in like local assemblies. I know sometimes they have the Early Learning Resource Center has opportunities for owners to come together and talk, owners to, get resources about different things that might be offered to the community at this time, like insurance and things like that. So I believe that creating and cultivating opportunities for owners specifically to come together and really, and even if, aspiring owners, because it's needed. It's very much needed. So whatever type of networking events are available, whatever type of conferences, classes, anything that, has our name on it, we need it.
I think one of the I think one of the biggest missing pieces of collaboration and cross collaboration is that childcare owners who know each other, who trust one another, who are in a particular market. I think they miss out on the opportunity of really co-branding and co-working with one another in excellence because your operation is independent of my operation, but we're all doing the same thing. I think there's some type of synergy that could be met between these independent centers that they can kind of streamline some of those tasks that are required for both of their centers and can pool their resources, their human capital. They may be able to pool their human capital together because again, one thing that I thought, and this is something that we don't talk about a lot, but one thing that my wife did that was very very powerful and instrumental, and it's something that made me want to become involved in the child care center is she has a really good friend who's in the childcare business, and they got background for each of the childcare in the event that somebody gets sick or somebody we're out of town and we need someone in an administrative ownership capacity mindset to go handle something. She has a friend that she can call on that can run right over and take care of it and legally can be on the premises to take care of it. So you're talking about cross collaboration. For me, that was next level thinking. And that's something that I think is, that's instrumental and places these two individuals ahead of other individuals in our market where operation of childcare is concerned. So that's something that I just wanted to throw out there about, that cross collaboration and building communities amongst owners. So the next question is, what are some engaging activities or events that can be organized to bring a childcare community together? Just give us a few examples. Some engaging activities or events that can be organized to bring childcare community together. One, I'm going to throw one out there. I don't understand why childcare owners in a particular area don't collaborate and do a hiring fair. I really, for the life of me, if we're all facing hiring challenges, I don't understand why 5 or 6 or 2 or 3 or 2, childcare haven't come together and said, hey, let's do a hiring fair this particular day at this particular location and invite other childcare owners to participate. And, we more than likely going to get free publicity. And when you get that free publicity, you're literally calling attention to the fact that, hey, we're in a hiring crisis, for lack of better terms. There are some jobs and positions that are available over here. We are competitive in our pay. Come on and get hired and get a job. So that's one that I think would be strategic. It would build a community and it would address a need as well. It's address a pain point. But to the panelists, those that do this every day, what are some engaging activities or events that can be organized to bring childcare community together? I'll give that to Dr. Daphne Booker.
Well, when I think about engaging activities for the childcare industry, I think about information rule the nation. And I always say information rule the nation simply because what stagnate most childcare owners' ability to get to the level that they desire is resources and information. They don't put themselves in position where they know the information and they have the resources. By having a summit or a panel discussion that they bring together the policymakers, those individuals, a state official that's a part of their licensing division, so they can get a clear understanding of the changes that's being made. Some type of trainer within the state facility, like CC&R or whatever resource division you may have in your state, having those individuals come together and have a conversation so you can talk about the available grants that they have out there or the changes that were made in the licensing rule book that you didn't even know that even existed, right? Having those conversations, those tough conversations about the change, this ever evolving industry will cause us to be able to be ahead of the game, because we know that the state and government, they're changing legislation and they changing the rules all the time. And our state is getting so strategic. They say it's your responsibility as the owner to go to Tennessee.gov and keep up with those changes. They're no longer sending out emails all the time saying, we're changing the licensing rule, paragraph 4, sentence 3 has been changed. They're no longer sending out that information like they was. They're changing it, revising it, and putting it on a website and saying, as an owner, it's your responsibility to keep up with that. So having collaborative events where we're discussing the rules and regulations, having just events where you have a licensing person come out and just talk about what's new coming down the pipeline, what's coming up next, some of the things that they've been trying on, some of the things that's coming up, just being able to be ahead of the curve. I think those things will cause childcare owners to really excel and not feel uncomfortable and not feel like they're in sometimes they can feel like every day is something new. But if they put themselves in a position where they know what's coming down the pipeline, they can be ready for the change that's coming.
Those are great, 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 excellent points. Excellent points. I could go in a different direction and be devil's advocate, but I'm not, because I've been accused of going off track a few times or two. But so what I do want to know, the next question, how can we encourage volunteerism and community service within the childcare industry to strengthen the bond among community members? Volunteerism. I'm going to give it to two people. I'm going to give it back to Dr. Booker Harris, and then I'm going to bring it down to Joy Maxwell, Professor Joy Maxwell. So first, we're going to start with Dr. Daphne Booker Harris, and then we're going to come down to Professor Joy Maxwell.
So encouraging volunteerism is something that we should open our doors to if we don't expose ourselves to it. Like we have so many students that if you're in a community that are in community colleges or part of universities, that they have to have so many hours, volunteer hours, or they have to have experience in early childhood education, just building those partnerships where they can send you those students in to get those hours that they need in order for them to graduate. And then not only I'm gonna say higher education, let's not forget about high school students. The rules changed a long time ago that high school students have to have so many hours of community service before they graduate from high school. So how cool is it if you partner with the guidance counselor and the principal, where they send their high school students to you to get those volunteer hours? Not only are they going to volunteer, you can teach them a skill set for those individuals that already made up their mind. Well, I don't know if I really want to go to a 4-year college, but I may be willing to go to a 2-year community college. You're exposing them to something different and letting them see childcare in a different light by having them volunteer for different events and just coming in and reading to the kids or just helping out on day-to-day activity. So those are some of the things that you can put in place to encourage volunteering. It's so many different things you can do, but I'm gonna leave that there and let Professor Joy Maxwell sum it up.
So I think that we have so many opportunities in our community to be able to bring people together. There are certain annual events that our centers have every year, as with Dr. Daphne and Todd. I know you guys at center do annual events as well. And these events, people start looking forward to them. The community looks forward to them. The children looks forward to them. One of our events that are coming up very soon is our annual Spring Fling. Our Spring Fling is always done before summer camp, right around the spring break for the school districts, and it's a time for community members to come out. We get our local bank out, our local librarian, our local healthcare representative, our local food pantry resource, and we bring everybody together. We bring bouncy houses, food vendors. Last year we had a snow cone truck on the premises. We had a 360 photo booth, and people love these events. And so what it also gave opportunity for people in the community who maybe wanted to volunteer, who wanted to come in and read a story for Grandparents' Day. It just opened up a whole window of all these people who were like, oh, I used to be a teacher. I used to do this. We had one lady, this particular location is a joint to a church. And so she was a member at the church, but she was a retired school teacher. And she was like, I would love to get my clearances and just come in and read to the kids. It also opened up opportunity for our local librarian. She started coming in once a week to read to the children and to do a book exchange. So she would actually bring books with her for our preschool VPK classroom. And they were able to check out books, exchange books, read the books, see the books, and they really enjoyed it. And so I think anytime we provide opportunities just to safely, of course, open our doors within legal ramifications and make sure everybody has their clearances and things like that, I think it's wonderful. I'm also reminded of a center, and they were in Kansas. They ran their program just off of volunteers. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal. This was a community after school program, and the children were at risk youth. And so, what they did was they called their local doctors, lawyers, city officials, school board officials, and they pitched this idea of, we have these young people, their parents really aren't in the best position to pay for aftercare. However, we want to provide them services. And we're asking you guys who already have to do pro bono hours or volunteering to get your background and get on a schedule where once a week, twice a month, you're on schedule to come and work with them to help them with their homework and do activities with them. And literally it was two nuns, and they were in a church. They had a facility. It was like a Catholic church, but their whole staffing system for the whole month was ran off of nothing but volunteers. And when I'm talking about lawyers, doctors, politicians working with these children, doing sports with them, doing chess, doing them checkers, activities, talking about entrepreneurship. It was really, I mean, it got so big that the city wound up giving them an additional building. And right now, this program is ran on two campuses on opposite sides of the street, and it's going very, very well. So just to hear somebody have that type of concept who work with the community like that, where the community was able to come in, I think that's phenomenal. I think sometimes we miss opportunities because we don't open our mouth and tell people what we need. I find childcare owners sometimes are some of the most, let me keep this to myself. Let me not share what's going on. I don't want anybody to know. And I feel like in this season, if you need help, open your mouth. If you need collaboration, if you notice that the child care center over there had this class and you would love to do that for your class, reach out to that child care center, reach out to that provider. Hey, and if they're not gatekeepers, they'll share with you. Sure, that resource, oh, that person. Our Philly site, we have Philly Dads Read, and it's a group of fathers who come in and read to the kids. They've been at our center call coming in.
Okay.
It's been phenomenal. They've come with book donations. I'm talking about Barnes and Noble's books, a bunch of books. And they've been reading to our children at circle time, and the kids love it. So I think community resources are definitely out there. It's ways for us to collaborate. It's ways for us to join hand and join forces. And it's just time to do it. It's the perfect time to do it.
Right. I think one thing that I found is powerful in your statement, and is this: a lot of time people look for what they can get out of things, and associate getting something out of it with the monetary amount. But the reality is, you can strip away all the money, all the riches, all the gold, but the thing that you cannot strip away is the meaning.
Mm.
And I think a lot of the times volunteerism gives people the GPS of principles and what values really matter to them. A lot of people are miserable right now in their businesses. They're successful, but they're miserable. And they're miserable because they're not giving back. And I think that volunteerism, a lot of the times, is that missing link in people's lives that gives them meaning outside of the dollar. So anytime volunteer, you have those people that come in and they're volunteering and they just look like they're just super enthusiastic about it. They're super enthusiastic about it because it's giving their life's type of purpose that's outside of the success of their career. And that's something that, I think needs to be really, really built upon. Not only does volunteerism gives people's lives meaning, but it also gives people the opportunity to be around and amongst other professions. Like you said, it's like a professional gumbo. It allows you to be in a professional gumbo to where you pick up something that's going to build you and going to put you in a position down the road that you can't see. It's going to put you in a position to be able to handle it or be able to call someone and say, hey, I'm faced with this issue. you are in this profession. Can you help? And they will help for free because they have seen you give of your time, give of your energy, give of your blessings, and they feel obligated to assist you. And in many respects, they are obligated to assist you because they know the deeper you and not the professional slash surface you. That's something that I wanted to make sure I bring out to the table about the power of volunteerism that I've witnessed over the years. So we're going to go on to this next question, and then I got 2 points, and then I'm gonna wrap up with I think a statement that's I've been holding my mule, but that mule is kicking, and I'm gonna have to let it go. What communications channels have proven effective in keeping the childcare community connected and informed? What communication channels have proven? What communication channels have proven effective in keeping childcare community members connected and informed?
So when you talk about communication channels, I always say every time you see a parent or anybody, for a lack of better terms, they always have a cell phone in their hand, right? We always know whether it's a smartphone or Android. They all have their cell phones in their hand. So one of the best communication channels that you can ever use in any childcare business is social media. If you decide to, if you want to communicate and you want to really put yourself out there, but we know a lot of childcare owners are not comfortable with using social media as a communication channel. But every time you see someone, they have their cell phone in their hand, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or whatever channel that you decide to use, we know they're always on social media. But nowadays, if you're a childcare owner and you're trying to communicate with your parents, you should have some type of portal where you communicate with your parents and your staff at a regular basis, whether it's Hot Mama, Reach Me, or Pro Care, Kinder Care, or whatever the name of these all these different apps that they have. Is no excuse to not have a way to communicate and have some type of CRM system where you're emailing and texting and sending regular communication to your parents. But if you want to, since we're talking about community, where will you find community? You find community by using different resources on social media, going out, putting stuff in different ads, newspapers. They have, you go in the store, they have these books and they say free at the top, right? And they say free. The books are free to people when they get them at the grocery stores. If you want to communicate with the community, put stuff in those different free magazines, those different free books that are out here. They're in every grocery store. I remember Coach Joy did something on baskets and grocery store baskets. She advertised on a grocery store basket, and it didn't just bring her enrollment, it brought her partnerships in her community because they saw her when they was pushing their baskets in the grocery store. So it's so many different communication channels that we can use, and it all leads back to how you market yourself. And a lot of times people are not comfortable with putting themselves out there because they feel like nobody is going to come, nobody is going to read it, nobody is going to see it. They're putting themselves in other people's shoes, but don't realize if you put a billboard out there and say that you're having a community event and you're looking for volunteers, you will be amazed with how many phone calls you would get from people passing by because they saw that. But you feel like because you won't call, someone else won't do it. But I'm here to tell you the things that you won't do, it's 1,000 other people that will. And the only way that you're going to get something different with building community is doing things that you've never done before. And doing things that you've never done before is putting your business, putting your childcare center on the mind of your community. How you become an influencer in your community is putting yourself out there by communicating in different ways to your community. When your community see you, they shouldn't always see you asking and saying, I'm now enrolling, I have slots available. That's not how you build a community. You build a community by being resourceful, by being able to offer different resources to your community, by educating them on things, by having volunteer opportunities, and being caught serving your community. That's how you build community, by communicating. That's my response.
That's a great response. That's an excellent response in actuality. But I got somebody that I want to spotlight who's not in the childcare business daily. President Raymond Maxwell is a real estate broker in Florida. Now, he recently shared something with me that I thought was amazing. Ray, in our business, y'all know, people know that I'm also in real estate on the commercial side of things. But Ray did something that I told him when he said it, I just stopped and it was like, what do you mean? Ray sat down one day and cold called a record number of people. And I want you to understand that I'm saying this because the power of the phone is amazing. If the phone will solve a lot of these issues that we have, because a lot of the times we don't know, we really don't communicate, and we shoot a text, we send an email, but the power of a phone call it can transform your business. So Mr. Maxwell, can you offer some input on the power of phone calls?
Yes, definitely. And I just want to correct, I'm not a broker in Florida yet. I'm an agent, but I just want to just clarify that just in case someone would have thought I was a broker. Um, yes, definitely. The power of the phone call is definitely because the thing is, even though we do live in the tech age, even though we do live in a tech age where people like being on social media and they like using different apps, everyone likes that personal touch. Everyone likes to be talked to and not talked down. So just that communication piece, because at the core of it, we are all social beings. We all like to get that personal phone call. We like to have that personal conversation because it will strengthen that bond between the owner and the client, where it becomes not just a business relationship, it becomes a more family oriented relationship. And then on top of not just having that phone conversation, that physical conversation where you can talk to your community one on one. Hey, how you doing? How's your day? It's a lot of owners that don't have good communication with their staff. They don't have good communication with their clientele. And I believe that is a disconnect. And I believe that if more childcare owners will engage more with their staff, with their clients, it would be a better situation. And the thing is, like, you don't have to, make your face sour by smiling all day. As soon as you see them, when you meet and greet them with a smile. Say, hey, how you doing? I want to let you know your child is doing well in this class. I want to let you know your child did that. Your child did that. Have that communication. Let them know that you care about them and you care about the child. And that's the point I would like to say. So that was strictly communication. And calls, also that one-on-one communication.
Perfect response, powerful response. Something that I think, as you stated, a lot of the times is overlooked these days because of the different media opportunities that we have to communicate that are not as personable. So I really appreciate you for chiming in on that.
And I want to say one more thing.
Again, I'm gonna.
I want to say one more thing before that
ahead.
final question, and I won't be long-winded, but I just wanted to just give an example. It'd be some cases where the parents assume and the staff assume that the owner is mean, that the owner is standoffish, because The owner never gave them the opportunity to get to know that personal side of them. If that owner were to engage them or give them that personal side, then they might look at them a little bit differently. They might, instead of them thinking a certain type of way, acting a certain type of way, once you engage them, it's a better situation.
So you done stepped all in. You done
So,
stepped all in back up, man.
so what I was
Go
going
ahead.
to, I want to add to that, Ray. When you were saying that, I wanted to just chime in on just that personal touch from an owner because I'm a multi-site owner, and a lot of you guys are that are on this call, or some of you guys may not be a multi-site, but you may have a director in place where you're not doing the enrollment, so you're not dealing with the day-to-day activities like you used to do in the past. Well, we implemented because I'm so personal and not personable, and I like to make my parents feel welcome. Not only do we send them a welcome email, do we send them a welcome text, we do all of that, right? That's automated. That's something that's automated. But what I started doing is within the first week of each child enrollment, they have to send me the day the child starts. My staff has to send me a report of that child's start date. And within that first week of that child enrollment, as the owner, I contact the parent and give them a warm welcome and tell them that they have a gift in the office for me waiting on them, which is an anchor gift that has my school logo information on it, pen, cups, little notepads or whatever. But I give them a friendly call just to welcome them to our global family. And I do that because I have a lot of parents, and I walk by and they say, "Oh, that's the owner right there. I saw her on the video." And so I felt some type of way because they knew who I was and I didn't know who they were. So I started doing those phone calls so I can so I can reach and I can touch every parent that comes in our program. I don't care how big I get. I know if I get 20 kids per week, I got to take that time out to call all of those parents. So, because I want them to know that I value them for trusting me with their precious cargo. So I want to just challenge you guys to add just a personal touch to your enrollment process, because we don't want to get it so where it's so technical where we leaving it to personal touch out of it. That human touch is just giving them a courtesy call, and a lot of times they be so excited just to hear from you.
Perfect. But you, like I said, y'all stepped in my stuff today. I'm gonna ask this. I'm gonna ask this last question, and I'm gonna come back because again, they say I go off track. So this last question: what steps can be taken to emphasize the importance of continuous improvement and professional development within the child care community? What steps can be taken to do that? What steps can be taken to emphasize the importance of continuous improvement and professional development within the child care community? I'm sorry, Professor Joy Maxwell.
Thank you so much, Mr. Todd Harris. What I was going to say is I think we have to get back to normalizing quality childcare. I don't know where this little thing crept in that made people think that we can do half behind childcare and let it be accepted by the community. If quality is the standard, then we need to be quality. Okay. If best practices is the standard, then we need to be best practices. I see it in a lot of these childcare groups, people asking all types of backdoor questions. How do y'all get away with this? How can you do this without this? How can you have that without the state knowing? And I look at some of these people responses in the group and I'm like, where are these childcares? These are the ones stinking it up for the rest of us. I was sitting in a class a couple of weeks ago and they said the main reason why childcare insurance is such a risky field right now is because so many child cares are making insurance claims. So many. And some of them are making claims because of neglect. This was done to a child. that was accidentally done to a child. A child was accidentally left outside. A child was accidentally, too many accidents, too much. And so the more we keep quality as our standard and professional development, and not so much, because I get sometimes people are like, oh, the state, when they come in, they scare me and I don't know if they're going to listen. If you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. That's what I was taught. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. Operate at the highest level of professionalism and the highest level of quality you can, so that when the state comes in, the news comes in, a mama come in, it's nothing that you're trying to cover up, get your staff to lie, hide, don't do this. Like, it's, I think that somewhere this industry has tried to be more of a, I don't know, maybe a babysitting club or something. Like it got away from being schools. And so the professionalism went out the window. You know, if I get people that look like the cool kid and the cool kid is doing stuff wrong, illegal, back door, behind door, on the side, I'm gonna try to do it too. Where if we continue to raise the standard this is a field of professionalism. We are professional educators. I know, as for me and my child care centers, we are. I know these Harrises is educating too. I've been to Memphis several times, okay? They doing real school. We have to get away from doing backdoor business. I want to say another word, but I'm not going to say it. We have to get away from doing backdoor business, and we have to bring quality back into childcare. It's ridiculous that insurance companies are dropping childcare centers right now because of the risk factor of y'all filing fake claims, fraudulent claims, crazy claims, and just plain old stupid claims. It's some of this stuff, if we prevent it, if we put more professional development, if we put, I was talking to one of my directors the other day, and she said, well, I taught them this. And I said, you know what? I said, remember back in the day, we used to have hands-on day. We used to have a hands-on day where, as we were teaching the concept, we brought in the baby dolls, we did role playing, and we let the teachers do a hands-on activity. No, these new staff meetings, I'm seeing some of these videos, y'all cussing these teachers out. Of course they don't want to do right. Y'all ain't treating them right. And I could go on a tangent about that because I work with a lot of centers, okay? But once we put that level of professionalism back in, we put that accountability. I'm holding you accountable as the teacher, and I want you to hold me accountable as the director, the owner, the administrator, the whoever. And I want to make sure that what I'm giving you, I've also fostered enough in you that you can actually execute it. Because giving people information without any steps to implement it is going to lead to frustration. So we have to get back to making quality the standard and stop doing backdoor business.
Whoa! You really hit some points. But before I make my comment, Dr. Booker Harris has a hand up. But I want to also acknowledge. Let me see. There's a comment that was made about the director check-in. That is a great point to have the director check in, but I just want you to let you know, Ms. Blackman, that that coming from you as the owner, it's almost like the president of the United States giving you a call. And when you take that time as the president of your company to call a citizen, a normal citizen, your customer, when you take that time to contact them, I mean, that's going to give you a level of a level of credibility that a lot of businesses don't have, because it's not often that you're going to get a call from the president. Now, when you do give that call, this is the disclaimer. Make sure you have time to talk with that person, because they're going to want to address every issue that they've ever had with the operation with you on that call. And you need to make sure that you have the time to do so. And I guarantee you, by the end of that conversation, they will have gotten all the frustrations that they wanted to get out. They would have gotten some information from you on why you do things the way you do it. It educates them and it makes them become an advocate for your organization. And when someone's on the outside says, she is this way, he is this way, she's going to say, or he's going to say, no, they're nothing like that. And then they're going to give their experience with you and how it empowered them as an owner. I'm sorry, as a citizen, as a customer, they will basically have your back. You're gonna have an advocate. You're gonna be spoken of in rooms that you had not ever entered at this point. So, Ms. Booker, Daphne Booker Harris, come on and give your comment, and then like I said, I gotta close out.
All right, I was just gonna chime in on what Professor Joy said about professional development. So, when it comes down to professional development, and we say that we provide quality, in order for us to take the stigma that perception that we're babysitters out of the industry, we have to focus more on quality and professional development. And that does not only start in the classrooms, it starts with educating your parents on your process, having professional development when it comes to your parents as well. We started having meetings with our parents, educating them on why a rule is a rule. We have rules in place for our staff. We have rules in place for our parents, and we educate them because we have to transform the mindset of the community. And how do you transform that? By educating them why a rule is a rule. They don't understand why their child can't come in with a pacifier clip to their clothes. They just think the owner decided to come up with a rule because you don't like pacifiers. So we decided to educate them on why we can't have the strings and where they can find that information. And we did that over a parent meeting. Why your child can't sit in a seat over a certain amount of time because it's a restraint issue. Instead of just always saying, we don't do this, we can't do this, we don't do this, that gives parents a bad impression, like their rules are strict. They're hard to deal with. But if you educate them and explain to them why this rule is a rule, because parents look at, I do that at home, but they don't look at it from a business perspective. See, we have to transform the mind of the people that we encounter. If you want people to look at you as quality, you have to educate them on what quality looks like, what that looks like, and why. And as owners, we put rules in place and we say, that's the rule and that's the rule because I said it's the rule. But it's not okay to just put the rule in place and not educate the people around you on why that rule is a rule. So we didn't start why that rule is a rule just for our staff. We did it for our parents too, because I want that parent to be able to be in the room and verbally articulate what quality looks like. I want them to be able to see if they're put in another childcare setting, what the difference between being mediocre and being a babysitter and quality childcare. See, you have to be willing to open to educate everybody, so everybody around you can understand what quality looks like. And so that's one of the things that I put in place, is explaining why rules are rules, not just to my staff, but to my parents as well, because I want them to be able to walk in rooms and educate others. That's how you make transformation. That's how you impact communities, by educating them what quality looks like. Because they don't know what quality looks like. Because grandmama Miss Ida Mae kept all the kids in a little yellow house and didn't have no license. They don't understand what quality looks like because they was never exposed to quality. So if they're exposed to you and you provide quality, educate them on what that means. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Great commentary. Great commentary. We got like 6 minutes left in this broadcast, and I'm about to stomp on some toes. I'm letting you know right now, I'm about to stomp on some toes. And I'm stomping on these toes in a good way. Because I want you to understand, in building community, when we're building community, we have to check ourselves, okay? Some of us have been party to some conversations that got back to some people. Some of us have said some things. Some of us have been witness to some things that have gotten back to people. So I want you to understand, until we can start building this community, really, we're gonna have to start calling some people and clearing up some dust. There's a lot of dust on the table in this childcare community. We got to clean it up. Give the person on the other side an opportunity to fix it if they did you wrong. Give them an opportunity to fix it, and you give them a call and you clear it up. So in this childcare community, I want everybody to understand how to properly handle conflict. See, we don't even know how to handle conflict between childcare owner to childcare owner. If you heard some things about somebody and you made a comment and it got back to that person, and you know that it got back to that person because somebody else called you, guess what it's time to do? It's time for you to pick up the phone. It's time for you to call the person that was party to the conversation. It's time for you to clear it up, because we will never build a real community until we clean this mess up. I am, for one, when I'm a party in a room where people will start talking about somebody, someone does business, yet you see me exit stage left. My wife say, I don't even want to be in the room when those kinds of conversations are happening, because I don't want it to ever be said that I made a comment about this person. And if I did make a comment, or if I am having a conversation with someone and it's misconstrued, I don't ever let somebody deliver a message for me. And when I receive that this message has been delivered and is not delivered in the same context as I put it out, I make sure to call the individual and have a conversation with them, and I clean it up personally. So again, when we are operating in this excellent space of childcare, make it a point to call those people who have said something about you, it's gotten back to you. Give them a call and give them an opportunity to clean it up, and you do the same. You really got to do the same, because we can never really truly build a community if you have some type of spite, some type of animosity towards somebody. And again, this animosity may be something that's completely unknown to you, and because you didn't know that it occurred. And I want you to, again, take the time to call these people and clean it up. If you are a person that don't want to deal with someone because of something that you heard, you need to call that person and you need to verify if what you heard was correct. Not to cause mess, but you call that person and say, hey, I want to have a conversation with you because it got back to me on what I feel is good authority that this occurred. And I just want to understand, is this what happened? And if it is what's happened, hey, can we talk about it to get it worked out? Because again, when it all boils down to you, the same people you see going up are going to be the same people you see coming down. The same people you see going up are going to be the same people you see coming down. And you don't want to make enemies on this road to success. You want everybody to be an advocate for you, because you want to be an advocate for everyone. That's all I have to say. I'm done with that conversation. Hopefully you took it in a good way. Hopefully it didn't prick your heart in a bad way. Hopefully it pricked your heart and convicted you, because you need to call somebody and clean up some mess that's been started in this childcare community. Tune in next month for our next childcare chat. We oftentimes put these advertisements out 2 weeks prior to the actual childcare chat occurring. So if you like the information that you saw, go on to our Facebook page, follow us, the National Childcare Owners Association. Go on to the Facebook page and follow the National Childcare Owners Association. We do these childcare chats on a monthly basis. And we are looking forward to we do receive invitations to come do them live as well. So if you have a topic, if you're in a city where you would like for us to come and host a childcare chat live, we are open to that idea. We have done it before, and it's something that we look forward and like actually doing. So again, Todd Harris, the Executive Director of the National Childcare Owners Association. I'm going to pass the mic off to our esteemed President Raymond Maxwell, for him to close us out.
Thank you. So very powerful words right there. So hopefully everybody learned a lot today. I did, on how to collaborate with your staff, your clients, and your community. And we got to clean it up. Have a great day, guys. Goodbye.